Mhm. All right. So I was listening to the Hake Report, and I found that I would say one of my old friends, maybe nemesis, Howard, the one angry Jew, was on there. I invited him on. Man, I get really bad uh, acid reflux, so my sleep pattern is not as good, and I'm trying to control my diet, which hasn't been as successful as I'd want it to be. But Howard was on the Hake Report, and he was on there for about 20 minutes. And he recommended that just everybody classify themselves as black. And at this moment, now my opinion on this could be changed, but I think at this point that tactic is not going to work, just due to the fact that they'll just slice that down. I mean, these individuals use tactics and games and gaslighting all the time. What makes you think they're going to let you do the same thing? The truth is, I think you just have to. I mean, the truth. You have to be truthful, honest, and upfront. That's the only way I think you're going to win people over. You don't win by giving in to them and cowing down and even playing any kind of games with these people. They're already liars. I mean, they're already hypocrites and gaslighters. And those people who aren't necessarily going to change. The people that are following them and who are kind of blind, you may be able to wake them up, but at this point, I don't even know if that's worth it. I think in some places you just got to flee. Any place that has a 700-pound statue to George Floyd, that seems to be a place that you want to flee from it and go away from, because these aren't rational people. And I hear a siren in the background. I don't know if my if you can hear it in the background on my show, but there is a siren in the background. So yeah. But as I said before, I mean, these people shut down discussion or talk on anything that they don't like and that will hurt their cause. I ask people, like the few people that were able to talk to me about South Africa, if they didn't just tell me to shut up, uh, went through hoops of Houdini, these verbal magic tricks and sleights of hands that would have made that would have made I guess Houdini proud, or would have made Houdini blush. Some of the tricks, some of these verbal tricks that they tried to play on me when I would ask questions about South Africa and Zimbabwe. They would say, well, it's not, there's no, there's not much evidence that it's not racially motivated, the murders of white farmers by blacks in South Africa. I mean, to really believe that, I mean, to look at the evidence and say that, you're either very naive, which, or you're just lying. And then, of course, anytime you bring up any of Colin Flaherty's recent books, they try the same gaslighting and downright lies. And of course, they're not going to let you on to debate. I mean, you can go on to the Rotherham grooming gangs. Leftists do not care about you. They don't care to hear you. And they don't care to consider any kind of pain that's inflicted upon you as a human being. I mean, you look at Kyle Rittenhouse. The man was fleeing, being chased by a mob, and went to defend himself after being struck by a skateboard. And they can say, oh, they were trying to, they thought he might have been a mass shooter trying to take the gun away. That's a load of nonsense. And people know that. Normal people should know that. But what can you do with people who think that way? I guess number one is you can stop spending your money where people don't support your values. You're going to support an athlete just because he represents the city in which you live in, who takes a knee. He has no empathy for you. He doesn't share your values. In the city that you live in, is it really a noble city? Particularly if it has a large statue to George Floyd. Is that really a good city? Is that something good? All the riots that happen and the downplaying of that, the downplaying of the riots, the downplaying the fact that one of them said, one of the BLM leaders said, we're trained Marxists. And they'll say, well, that's not the whole thing. You get conservative groups, I mean, like the Proud Boys, and the Proud Boys did come about because of Antifa. And they'll mark a few outliers, but they're not necessarily. Now I got a message from Howard, but they're not necessarily going to condemn them. All right, I'm going to give Howard a link. I'm going to tell him I'm going to give him a link. So, folks, I'm going to tell him I'm going to give him a link in Discord. Damn, God darn it. Sorry, folks, because I'm. All right. Let me give him a link in Discord. Folks, while I just. Sorry, folks. Well, while I do this, and actually, I don't think anyone's listening, so I don't even have to say sorry, folks. But anyone who may listen is maybe the 3 listeners that. Well, I don't know where JP is. That's what I'm telling. Well, I did send him a link, and hopefully he will show up, and maybe he can give his perspective. It's going to perhaps take a while for him to show up. He's a little bit on the elderly side, but I'm hoping that he'll show up. I'll give him a few moments, and then because I was going to probably end it, but I'm waiting. So again, I sent him a link and he's not showing up. So I'm waiting for him to board the plane, but he might be kind of late. So I'm just out here, and yeah, I got a few people who are agreeing with me on social media, but I'm trying again to. I'm waiting for Howard. I've sent him a link, and hopefully he will be showing up. But as I've continued to say before, this seems to be an economic and cultural Cold War, not just in America, but I think throughout the civilized world. And these critical race theory leftists do not like you, and they want to shut you down. They will gaslight you. They will gaslight you at best, and I would say downright lie to you. Now, I've sent him a link and he's not responding, so maybe it's taking him a while. And I've sent him a link and he is not responding. Maybe he's in bed. Like I said, it's later there in Thailand, and the man does have to get up in the morning. But I might just put a link to the show that Howard was on. I'll re-edit this thing and send a link. It was interesting. I don't know if that, and I don't think that is the best tactic. Right now, I could be wrong. I don't know really what tactic other than boycott and get people together economically to fight this economic Cold War that we are in, and also, some form of political strategy to balance out 230. But that's not going to be done for 4 years. And we do have Howard. Howard is afraid to show his face, and that's fine. Howard, I don't know if you've listened to any of my show so far.
Howard's not showing his face.
I'm seeing what you're eating right now. What time is it over there in wonderful Thailand, by the way?
What makes it wonderful? It's almost midnight.
Oh, my heavens.
Yeah. Do you see what I'm eating? This is what's left over from my son eating the rest of it. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like the basil, and he won't eat the egg. But this is about $1.25. It's quite good.
Makes me want to move out there.
Tasty. Look at that. Hold on. This is all that's left. It used to be chicken and basil, but he left. I don't know.
He just ate the chicken, I suppose.
He ate the chicken and left the basil. Right.
Well,
good thing I like basil.
Yeah, I like basil as well. So I was mentioning that you were on the Hake Report.
I was on the Hake Report, yes.
Yes, and you mentioned that.
What did I say?
You said that people should just identify as being black.
Right. He didn't understand that.
He didn't, but I don't know necessarily, and I said this before my show, that may be a good tactic with these leftists. Basically, these are the biggest gaslighters and hypocrites, I think, ever. I've never seen such hypocrisy and gaslighting in all my life. I don't know if that tactic is going to work.
Why wouldn't it work?
Because they'll just shut it down.
That's the whole point. You just crack the code. It shuts it all down. Then they have to start it over. They have to rethink it. And they have to come up with a different tactic. So this shuts it down.
Well, they'll shut you down. But I mean, how are you going
to? How are they going to shut me down? Prove that I'm not black. Don't I look black?
Well, I mean, you're going into a fight thinking that they're even going to engage with you.
You're not understanding.
Okay, go ahead.
If I apply to a university, I'm going to
Yes.
put down that I'm black. If I
Okay.
apply for a program, I'm going to put down that I'm black. If
Okay.
I apply for a small business loan, I'm going to put down that I'm black. Prove that I'm not.
Then they'd have to. I mean, the truth is, to prove that you're not black, they would have to prove that race is not a social construct.
How would you prove that I'm not black? How does a black person prove that they are black? What makes a black person black? Where's the definition in the United States Code of a black man or woman or person? And go find that that pussy JP and bring him to me, the man
Uh,
who kicked me off his Discord.
you know what? I've invited Joe on the show, and
He's shaking.
I don't know whether he's shaking or not. I can
He,
only.
he declined. He said he had no interest.
He didn't say he didn't have any interest. He just he just said that that he just didn't say anything. He hasn't responded to me one way or the other. He might be out gallivanting. I don't know what he's doing at this moment.
Gallivanting. Right. He told me that he has cousins who are rock stars and getting pussy was easy. I don't think it's so easy for a man. How did you describe him yesterday? What did you say he looked like? Oh, Leonard Nimoy. Right. I could see that a little bit, but I've never seen a bald Leonard Nimoy.
Well, either way,
It's not
I
either way.
JP's not here to defend himself, and I don't want to.
Bring him forth.
You know what? I will. You know what? I'll ask him, and I will absolutely strive to bring him forth if I could.
Right. You tell him that the one angry Jew wants a piece of him, or pieces, if that is what ensues.
Yes. I think you might want to change your name to the true King of the Jews, because I think you would be crucified by your own people. In
Why?
America, anyway.
Why?
Because you're not a leftist.
No, I'm not. What am I?
I would say, well, you are an Ayn Rand. And I wouldn't say, because Ayn Rand did not like libertarians, by the way.
I'm not so fond of libertarians either, even though I consider myself one.
Yeah, I'm not fond of them either. I'm more of a conservative. I've considered myself more of a conservative than I am a libertarian, and I don't even know if I'm a Republican.
I'm more of a conservative than you are, and I have more hair than you.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Do you have a toupee?
It's right here. My hat.
Your hat is a toupee?
Yeah.
That's not a toupee. What kind of hat is that? Is that a half Groucho Marx hat?
I bought this thing. I believe I bought this hat at the Army surplus store, and it covers my noggin. And I think I don't. I mean, I don't care. I don't like. I wish I did have hair, but I don't really like. I'm not ashamed of my baldness, but
Why don't you claim that you have shaved your head? Then you wouldn't be bald.
I have shaved my head.
No, I didn't say that you shave your head. Why don't you claim that you shaved your hair off, all of it?
Sure, I shaved off all my hair.
Exactly. So you're not really bald. You're bald by choice.
Well, no, I am bald because if I didn't shave my head, I'd only. I mean, I'm bald on the top of my head. I'm technically I'm bald. I don't want to play games with people. I'm bald.
I'll play games with people. It's a lot of fun.
I don't want to do that. That's not my way.
Will anybody see this video?
If I promote it, yeah. But I'm not sure anybody. I'm not sure anybody will. I think I get shadow banned by YouTube, and
Go into JP's Discord and challenge all the morons and tell them I want to take them on face to face, every single one of them at the same time. Good, spicy.
I'm saying this now.
Hey. Okay. God, that was good.
I'm putting that in Discord saying you want to take all challengers.
Yes, bring them to me.
And I doubt they're going to come on. I truly.
Why do you think that is?
Because, you know what? I'm not sure. Well, the only one I know that will come on with you is probably Dennis.
Dennis, yes. Bring Dennis on. Dennis is such a mess.
Yes.
Let's talk about that building that fell in Florida.
You know what? I'm not even up on the news on that, but we can talk. How about these? What do you think of the statues of George Floyd?
He's an ugly man. Why would you want to make a statue of an ugly man like that? Haven't we seen enough of him? Anybody who gets killed by the police, do we have to make a statue of them now? Where do you want to put them?
I guess
you want to make it mandatory that everybody has to put George Floyd on their mantle? That everybody has to look at him? I don't.
Now, what is there a consensus about what? Is there anything about George Floyd in Thailand? Is there?
No, they have no idea who he is, and they wouldn't care.
Because I thought the BLM, Black Lives Matter, was a worldwide phenomenon.
No, they don't like black people here. Black Lives Matter would be the first ones the cops throw beanbags at or shoot water cannons. There wouldn't be any Black Lives Matter because Thai people don't like anybody black.
They do have African immigrants there.
Immigrants? No. They might have people who are teaching or working, but they don't have African immigrants.
They don't have any African. I thought you knew a few African immigrants there. I could be wrong on that.
There's a difference between immigrants. I'm not an immigrant. I'm here on a non-immigrant visa.
Okay.
I have no plans on patriating or becoming a Thai.
I misspoke. They do have workers there that are African and people that are
not many. Not many.
Yeah.
A 0.00 something of the population. Very small.
And I'm assuming, they have I'm assuming they have military bases, U.S. military bases in Thailand.
The United States is well entrenched in Thailand.
And I'm assuming that there are black servicemen.
Yes.
So
they even sleep with the women.
That's correct. They do. And
why is that important? Because Thai people don't care about black people.
Do they care about anybody that isn't Thai?
Not much. Most of them have never left Thailand. Most of them have never even visited Vietnam or Myanmar or Malaysia, which border Thailand.
Is Thailand a third world country?
No. Do I look like I'm in a third world country?
Well, there are people that can live rather well. Who have, first world income living in third world countries that live rather well.
They don't pay very high salaries here.
Well, you can, but you can work, in that country and, like online and stuff and make.
Online you can work, but it's still considered half and half. They're not exactly sure. They're trying to figure out a way to get money out of us, but they haven't figured it out yet.
The U.S. government or Thailand?
Thailand. Oh, U.S. government's figured out how to get money out of everybody.
Oh yeah.
The U.S. government and some shitty third world country, and I don't know which one it is, are the only countries in the entire world that tax the work you do outside of the country.
Yeah.
If you're British, you come here and you open up a company, England doesn't try to take any of your income.
Yeah.
You might pay a little bit to Thailand, but you certainly aren't going to give any money to the crown. Where are my
You know what?
challenges?
I put out the bat signal or the Jew signal, and there are people that they're just not. I put out the hook, and there are just
They're
people
the
are not.
biggest. They're probably the biggest pussies that ever lived.
Maybe they are.
Oh no, no doubt they are.
You know.
Where is JP? You telling me that you can't send him an iMessage and he won't get it?
I have sent him both a. I've sent him both a personal message on his phone, and and I don't know. Like he might just be busy.
Busy doing what?
Don't know.
What does he do? Does he work?
I don't know.
I
I
don't. Yeah, you do know what he does, but I don't, and I know what he does too. But does he work? I didn't ask you to name where he worked. I just asked you,
well,
does he work?
on Sunday I don't think he works, but I don't know where he is, and I don't. It's like it's not really much of a concern of mine. What he's doing. If he's not on, he's not on.
Everything he does is your concern. You have a very unnatural affinity to JP.
I I would disagree with that.
You paid him to take your dog.
No, he didn't take my dog.
He killed it.
No, okay, Howard. No, he didn't do any of that. That's not true at all. I
So
mean,
what did he do with the dog?
he gave it back to me.
What'd you do with the dog?
I had to give it up.
Oh, you killed it.
I did not kill the dog.
Was that dog euthanized?
No. Why are we bringing this up, Howard?
Well, wait a minute. What you had to give the dog up. You gave the dog up
My father's
to
dog.
whom?
I
Yeah,
gave
I know it was your father's dog, but you gave the dog up to who?
I gave it to a non-kill shelter, and they found it a permanent home.
What kind of dog was it?
It was a Rottweiler Golden Retriever mix, from my understanding.
What did that look like? Did you give this dog up because you can't have pets in this particular abode where you live?
You know what? I didn't. I was in the process of moving, and I didn't know whether I could have pets in my home or not.
Can you?
Yes, this one I can, but
Really?
but because I work and this is an apartment, I did not want to do that to the dog.
How many rooms in that apartment?
What's that?
How many rooms in that apartment?
2.
What's the square footage?
Not sure.
Big?
It's comfy.
So wait a second. This is one room, and this is considered what? The second bedroom?
Yeah, I guess it would be considered the second bedroom.
And the other room is what? The bedroom.
My bedroom, yeah.
So you telling me you have no other room in there? There's no kitchen?
There's a kitchen and there's a living room and a bathroom.
So that would be 3 rooms.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. What do you pay for that?
Geez, Howard, I mean, I don't want to go into all of my financial details here. What do you pay for yours?
$400 a month.
Oh, well, I won't move to where you are. Yeah, I pay about $1,500 more.
You pay $2,000 a month for an apartment
Actually,
with
sorry,
no with.
$1,450 more.
You pay $1,450 for an apartment with nothing on the walls.
150 1,450, well, about 1,950 a month.
Does it have carpeting?
Howard, what is the point of these questions, Howard?
Why do you find them so intrusive? Does it have carpeting?
Yes.
See, no condo here has carpeting.
Huh.
Do you know what we do? Are you wearing shoes?
Yes.
I'm not. Nobody wears shoes inside a dwelling here in Thailand.
Did you do that when you were in Philadelphia? Did you not wear shoes in your house?
Yes, I did not wear shoes. And we don't use toilet paper either. We're not a bunch of dirty wipers like most Americans. Why do you laugh? You know it's true.
Well, I guess. I mean, and maybe that's something that we can, tradition out of is not wearing shoes in a house.
Well, you walk around outside in the dirty streets, and then you walk in your house and walk around in shoes. When do you ever take them off?
When I go to bed and when I shower and go to bed.
Okay. I just find it very interesting. I think that Americans are very dirty people. You should learn to be less dirty. See, if you walk around in bare feet, there's no dirt that comes into the house. The shoes come off at the front of the door, and you leave them there. Well, why would you need shoes?
Well, some people walk around in their bare feet out in the street.
Yes, I knew people that did that. Now let's talk about the building that fell down in Florida. Why is it that you know nothing about that building?
Maybe on this one I haven't been keeping the news, but let's see.
It's a 9/11 like event. I think that building was
How many people?
demolished. I think that building was demolished by a controlled demolition.
Let me take a look here and see.
Yeah, why don't you show it?
I'm not going to show it. I'm going to find out what.
You
Because I haven't heard
you
about.
should do this. You should do the show prep before the show.
Well,
What was it you wanted to talk about today?
You know what? Death toll.
Do you find my presence intimidating?
I do not. I don't care.
Okay.
But Howard, I am looking. Death toll climbs as more than I've just been haven't been looking at the news.
Or were they finding bodies?
Yeah, the death toll rises to 9. So the death toll. So that is front page news. I just haven't been looking at it. I haven't been looking at it yesterday. I've just been.
How could you not?
Just been out of the loop, man. That shows you how out of the loop I am, Howard.
Oh, you're loop to the loop. Oh, all right.
Perhaps I am.
Yes. Where are the takers? They're all pussies.
They are, Howard. So yeah. So let's talk about this this thing.
Why don't you find a video of the collapse, about 24 seconds long?
Yeah.
Go on YouTube, find a video, because there's a very good video that shows the collapse. I think it's a controlled demolition.
The thing is, if I show a collapse, I could get punished by YouTube.
Punished by YouTube? What are you, a baby?
Yes, I am.
Why would that be?
Because anytime you show clips from YouTube now, there is, they punished me before, and I'm not going to get punished again.
Okay, how would you like a clip from the Daily Mail that didn't come from YouTube?
Any clips that you show on YouTube,
What if it was a clip from Aunt Martha, who was out walking her beagle that night, and she was Skyping with her? She was Skyping with her little grandson Marvin, and she happened to take a video. Would that be all right?
Yeah, but like anything that's not that I haven't authorized, yeah, I can get in trouble for that. And I already have one strike on me. I don't want to get another one.
So you can never show a clip.
I have to look at the terms of service before I do something like that.
Terms of service for what? For YouTube or the clip?
For YouTube.
Why haven't you done so?
Lazy.
Yes. You're not lazy at work, but you seem to be lazy about other things. Can we plug that Dyson in? I'd like to see it blow your hat off.
uh, what is that drink, Howard?
It's Diet Pepsi or Pepsi
Yeah,
Zero or something. I don't normally drink this stuff, but once in a
not
while.
good for you, Howard. It's not good for
Mm.
you.
No, it's not. But once in a while, I like it,
Yeah.
and I put a big lime in it.
Put a
Do
little
you
bit
know
of
that?
vodka, put a little
Do you
vodka in
know
there.
that? Do you know that these people are such dummies that they have the same word for a lime and a lemon? They're both the same.
Hmm?
They call a lemon and a lime the same thing. Do you think what is in that obscenely large mug that you just drank from?
Tea,
What kind of tea?
matcha green tea.
Came from where?
The store.
Was that in a loose tea something or other? Was that made from tea leaves or was that made from a mix?
I don't know. It's helping me fast. That's all I know, Howard.
No, it's not. That's from a mix.
Perhaps.
Did it come out of a packet?
Yeah, it's in a tea bag.
So the tea bag came out of a what?
God, Howard, the tea bag came out of a box that I bought.
Okay. So there's no sugar in it.
No, no,
No. All right, well that's good.
and it's caffeine free.
Oh, I was quite concerned about that. I have my own espresso machine, so I like caffeine. Is there something wrong with caffeine?
I don't know.
Mm.
I mean, I take caffeine myself, but I don't know like how bad or damaging it is.
What? Caffeine?
Yeah, I don't know how damaging that is.
Caffeine is good for you.
Uh,
Coffee is good for you. Don't you know that?
I've heard that, but there's evidence. There's always evidence to the contrary on that.
If I gave you a link to an Amazon page, would you buy one of those things that you put on your toilet that blow warm water up your ass?
I don't know. Probably.
Would you give up toilet paper for a week?
Uh, Probably not, because even if I blow, even if I have that, I'm still going to want to dry off.
These toilet seats will dry you off as well.
I don't know. I'll look into it.
Why don't you just install that Dyson in the bathroom and really blow the air off your ass?
Geez, Howard. Good God. All right. So, what about this thing in Florida? What is your opinion? Hopefully, I don't get kicked off YouTube for this,
Why would you get kicked off of YouTube?
because there are speech codes and things you are not allowed to say.
So you kowtow to YouTube. Why? Let me ask you this question. With the dearth of viewers that you have for this particular channel, couldn't this be on Odyssey or Rumble or I forget some of the other ones that are out there? But why does it have to be on YouTube? Why are you afraid to get kicked off of YouTube?
Um. Well, I mean, I don't want to be kicked off, and I'd rather try to go along with their terms of
Why do
service.
you care? Why would you go along with their terms of service? Their terms of service are only for conservatives, not for anybody else. YouTube should go, what? Should I say it? Are you afraid if I say it? What YouTube should do with themselves?
Well, yeah, I mean, I already know how you feel. I mean, and you know what? Anyone who's
Right,
listening,
right. Here, let me see if I can do it. Okay. Normally, I would pray to Jesus that something really horrible happens. But I won't do that in this case because I know that you're afraid you'll get kicked off. But normally I would pray to Jesus that some dreaded disease or something afflicts them and causes them great pain and anguish for days on end. That's how much I like the people on YouTube. Did you find somebody to come on?
Nobody has come on. Let me take a look at this.
Nobody has come on.
Look-
What a bunch of pussies. You should have a little meow meow thing for the background. That building was demolished by controlled demolition.
Mhm.
Now, I have a prediction for that building. I have 5 reasons why I think that building was brought down by a controlled demolition.
Okay.
Want to
Why?
hear it?
Yes.
Well, the first thing is when it fell, there was a pyroclastic cloud.
Okay.
That's caused by an explosion. That's caused by concrete and steel, mostly concrete, being rendered down to fine dust. And that happened in this case. The video that you won't play because you're afraid to shows a huge pyroclastic cloud. That's number one. If a building just fell over, there wouldn't be a huge billowing cloud, what they call a pyroclastic cloud. There wouldn't be a big, huge billowing cloud.
Do you have evidence of a building falling naturally and a building?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there's no pyroclastic cloud.
Okay.
Number 2, the building fell symmetrically. How's that possible? You didn't watch the video. 2/3 of that building, the part that fell, 2/3 of the wing of that building that fell, it all fell symmetrically. That's number 2. And number 3, it fell in the direction of the most resistance, not the least resistance, the most resistance. And it fell evenly. It pancaked right on top of the other, just a nice stack. Want to hear number 3?
And
You can see explosions in the balcony windows. Last about a second. Big glowing explosion that comes and goes. And they pop all over the building, including the part of the building that didn't fall. So what do we got so far? Pyroclastic cloud fell on its own footprint. Symmetrical. It fell symmetrically, and we've got those lights right before it falls. How about number 4? The 1/3 of that building that didn't fall started to lean towards where the building isn't anymore. And then the whole bottom dropped out and it didn't fall over. It went down. Would you like to hear about number 5?
yeah.
Actually, I'm going to give you number 6. And here's my prediction, and you wait and see if this doesn't happen. That building will be declared not a rescue mission anymore. It will soon be declared a salvage. And the building that's still standing, the part of the structure that's still standing, which is a good half of the entire structure, will be demolished. And I will bet you that within 2 weeks, that will look like a parking lot. There will be nothing there. And you can scratch your bald head and ask yourself, how would they do the investigation if nothing is there? I'm predicting that they will do the exact same thing that they did at the World Trade Center when the Trade Center came down. They got rid of that debris immediately. You don't remember the trucks that came in and picked up debris and trucked them out, took them over to the East River, and what did they do with them? Maybe it was the West River. What did they do with them? They put them on barges and sent them to China. Look that up. That was a crime scene. And they decided to get rid of all the evidence. I think that that Florida spot will be a parking lot. It'll look like nothing was ever there.
Well, we certainly shall see.
By the way, number 7 are the fires that are inside the structure that fell down. That the mayor of Miami said she couldn't figure out. Nobody can figure out the source. Now, any smart person would say, well, I guess there's a gas leak or something like that, right? You smart person?
No,
Would you think there's a gas leak?
I'm not sure.
Well, if there was, they'd shut off the gas, wouldn't they?
That is correct.
So when she made the statement that they can't locate the source of the fire, what's fueling the fire, isn't that interesting? What would be fueling that fire? It's deep within the building. By the way, the people that are in that building that are likely dead, they're being roasted right now. And do you know, the building's hot. It's got a fire going in deep within the fallen structure. Do you know, and it's very symbolic. Do you know the majority of the people that occupy that building are Jews?
Well, Florida is there's a lot.
No, that particular neighborhood is full of Jews. It's a Jewish neighborhood, full of synagogues and everything else. The synagogues are out in full force. Why do you think the Israeli IDF flew over to help with the rescue operation?
Well, there's a large Jewish population anywhere in the world that gets harmed.
But this building had a larger population. So even if those people escaped from being crushed, which I doubt they did, they're being cooked.
Interesting. It just goes to show, I'll tell you something. I have to be honest here, Howard.
Are you not honest when you say you're being honest? When you say I have to be honest with you, does that mean that when you don't say you're not being honest, that you're not honest?
It's a phrase.
It's a bad phrase. You should lose it.
It's a point of confession. I've been so out of it, like physically out of it, that.
What does that mean?
Well, physically meaning like I've been kind of in a haze with my diabetes and my high blood pressure.
What does that look like? I have diabetes. I'm not in a haze. How do you get into a haze?
Probably by not eating properly.
Give me an example of not eating properly.
Eating yogurt.
What's wrong with the yogurt?
It's not sugar-free.
Why do you buy non-sugar-free yogurt?
I was hungry. I craved it.
So you can't buy sugar-free yogurt or low-sugar yogurt at the store?
I had it delivered.
You can't get it delivered either? I can.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it was an impulse thing that it was wrong.
I had a delivery today.
What are you getting delivered?
I had it already. I had hamburger delivered. I had low fat. Unfortunately, it has to be low fat, but I had low fat, low sugar yogurt. Yogurt for the boy. I had all sorts of stuff delivered today. So why did you have to get high sugar yogurt? And let me guess, it had fruit on the bottom.
No, I don't like fruit.
So what kind of yogurt do you buy?
This time I just got tart.
Tart?
Frozen yogurt and tart, yes.
Well, wait. That doesn't sound like yogurt. That sounds like something else.
It was frozen yogurt.
Who froze it?
Mint cheese.
So did this come from a restaurant?
It came from a yogurt place.
One of those places where they weigh it?
Yes.
Now, are you able to go to those places physically?
Yeah, I can.
Do you walk into those places and then after eating all that sugared yogurt, do you crawl out on your knees after you've eaten it?
Not necessarily, but I don't feel good afterwards.
And what is the final weight of the yogurt that you get from this yogurt store? By the
Oh,
way, if you wanted to make real money, you go buy one of those yogurt stores because people like you cannot help but go, "Oh, I'll have a scoop of that, and I'll have a scoop of that, and I'll have some of that," and throw a soup of the peanut butter crunch on top of that. And oh, is that a Heath bar? Oh, give me a double scoop of the Heath bar.
I just got a plain Howard, just with no extras.
What'd that cost you?
$29.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. How much did that cost you?
I got actually. I'm going to tell you something. I got two of them, and I by accident, and it cost me $29 for like 2 pints.
2 pints is $29.
Yeah,
So $14.50 a pint.
yeah,
Okay, a pint is about the size of a normal Haagen-Dazs uh, ice cream. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so you paid $14.50 for a pint of frozen yogurt,
Yes,
and it was not sugar free.
that is correct.
Yeah. Now, wouldn't you have been better off ordering a pint of Haagen-Dazs chocolate chip or coffee, which is very high in fat and would cost you what now in America? $6?
Probably.
Do they charge you more for being white in Los Angeles?
Uh, Not yet.
Well, that's coming. So, did you know the price of this before you bought it?
Yeah.
And how did you end up getting two of them? You paid for two of them.
I did that by I did that by accident. It was just it's
So
you know
you realized that you were charged for two when two arrived, and for the first thought, let me see if I understand you completely. Your first thought was, "Wow, I got one free,"
no,
wasn't it?
no.
You
Uh,
didn't think that anybody made that mistake?
yeah, it was you know what it was an unusual brain fart on my part.
Okay, so then you saw two of them, and did you say, "Oh shit, I just spent almost $30 for yogurt"?
No, I was just glad to get the yogurt and I ate it.
Okay, what did you think of the Hake performance?
I thought it was pretty good. I still have. I agree with what you said now, um, but I have to think about it before I. Uh,
What's to think about?
you know what? I have to think that if the tactics. I think the tactics good, but I want to examine it before I fully endorse it. I may fully endorse it, but the I want to think first. Now, High Ridge Estates has all these pills and syringes there. I don't know why. Maybe it's the diabetes or whatever. But yeah, so before I fully endorse like something like that, and it doesn't really matter whether I endorse it or not, because not too many people listen to the show and listen to
I know.
me.
Do you find that distressing? Does that cause you any anguish? Does that cause you any sadness?
No, I have my preference, but people listen or they don't.
Do you think anybody will listen to this one? Do you think anybody will watch it? Will this be on YouTube?
It will be on YouTube. People will listen. I don't know how many.
Well, Well, what's your guess?
I don't. You know what? I mean, at most maybe 30, if I'm lucky.
30. How many of the losers in Discord will listen?
Don't
Do
know.
you consider them losers?
No,
What do you consider them to be?
just people.
You consider somebody like Dennis to be a person,
Yes,
people.
I consider.
Isn't he a bit odd for you?
Yeah, but I'm odd.
What makes you odd?
Um, I guess I go against the grain to a degree, and I think
In what way?
um, you know what? Do you think I'm odd?
No. I think you're shockingly normal.
Do you think of yourself as odd?
No.
You
I
know what?
think I think if JP is odd.
Okay.
I
I
watched JP. Now I'm watching you
mhm.
with that silly hat of yours, but I'm watching you, and I don't see a lot of jerky movement. I don't see a lot of strange facial expressions. I don't see any lip smacking. I'm just thinking about JP himself, and I wonder, why does JP smack his lips when he talks?
I never
Why?
know.
Does he, why you've never noticed that he smacks his lips and
I
he purses his lips like that? Little glam little glam move on his part. You ever notice that?
Now that you mentioned it, I noticed it, but before, no,
Do you find that odd?
no.
Do you know anybody else that does that?
I've never really.
Is that indicative of somebody on drugs?
I don't think so.
Well, do you know anybody who's a drug addict? Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I won't say her name because that's probably why I got kicked off of Discord, because I mentioned it. But
Uh, well,
this
that
was a person. This was a person who was on your show, who I think 2 weeks ago you asked her something about drugs, and she said, "I don't do drugs."
I believe her. There are people that do drugs that I don't believe, but I believe this person.
You believe that? You know who the person I'm talking about?
I do know, and I don't want to mention that name because it's
Oh, I'm not going to mention the name, but I have court documents that say differently. Notice I put the ly in the end of that word. It doesn't say different; it says differently. I have court documents that say differently. That's not true. In
well.
fact, I almost choked on a lozenge when I heard that.
Okay.
What is that?
Water.
Oh, hold on. Let's talk about that for a second. It says that it's smart water.
hmm
Let me see it. What makes that water smart?
The ingredients, from my understanding, the limited ingredients in there helps me fast.
So water doesn't help you fast, but smart water does.
It helps me fast better.
Is that a 1 liter? What is the size of that smart water?
It's 2 liters, I think.
That's a 2 liter bottle,
I'm not sure.
or is that a 64 ounce?
Um,
Oh, come on, it's written on the bottle.
is it? Let me see here.
Has to be written on the bottle.
CRV. I mean, this is a waste of time. When I'm drinking my water,
Not at all. What did that cost you?
I'm not sure. I think about $2.
$2 for that smart water.
Yeah, maybe 250. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing $253. So when you get a bottle of water, a normal sized bottle of water, how much does that cost? And Aquafina.
I'm not
Let's
sure.
use
I'm not sure.
dollar,
I don't budget it.
$1.50.
I don't budget it. I don't. I'm not. I'm
Well,
not sure.
the point that I was trying to make or was getting to was how smart can you be if you spend $2.50 for a bottle of water?
I do it for fasting reasons. I've heard it works, and
You heard where? What are the ingredients that make this water so smart?
you know, I heard it, but I don't. I'd have to go back and look at it. I'm not really that sure. But I just heard it, and I thought, well,
Does it list the ingredients on the bottle? It must.
yeah. I mean, Howard, we can go into the ingredients of smart water, and we could do a whole thing on fasting and what works and what doesn't.
Uh-huh.
But
And you are fasting for how long?
right now, I've been fasting since I got up around 7:30 a.m.
What time is it now?
It is 10:47 right now.
So hold on a second. Let me get this. I just want to get this time frame straight. You woke up at what time?
About 7:30.
And it's 10:30 now.
10:47. But it's
Okay.
about 3 hours. Yeah.
And I'm not real good at math, but that's about 3 hours.
Yeah.
How much help do you need to fast for 3 hours?
Well, I was hungry when I got up, and I wanted to eat, but I didn't.
So is your body screaming for smart water, or is it just screaming? Why don't you make a cup of coffee?
I made some tea.
Matcha tea. What is that, if I may ask? Matcha tea.
I'm not sure of all the ingredients, Howard. All I do know is that it's helped me a little bit fight the hunger pains.
It fights the hunger pains. I feel like Gunnery Sergeant, what's his name in Full Metal Jacket. I just want to repeat after you. It fights the hunger pains. Okay. Back to the drug-free lady who claimed that she doesn't do drugs or ever does drugs.
Why do we have to mention that?
We didn't mention it. I didn't mention anybody's name. I just said she was the drug-free lady.
Yeah, but what's the purpose of that?
I saw it on your show.
What's the purpose of bringing up?
I didn't bring it up. She did. Actually, you did. You're the one who asked her.
Well, but what? But why would you bring that up? I mean, what does it matter? I mean, I'm not in. And there's no love life between me and her or anything. I mean, it's all.
Wait a minute. There's no what between you and her?
There's. Okay, what's the point of bringing that up in a public forum?
You brought it up in a public forum.
I did not bring that. I did not bring that person up at all.
You brought it up with her. You certainly did.
I brought it up with her, but I didn't
And
bring
she
it up.
answered. And she answered with a lie.
Okay.
And you say you believe her. And I have hidden court records that say it's not true. Do you believe me or do you believe her?
I'm not going to defend or defame a person, and it's irrelevant to me.
Well, we haven't named her. Are you ready to plug that Dyson fan in yet?
No, I'm not.
How long has it been since that Dyson has been plugged in and has blown anything?
I'm not sure.
I think it's been a long time.
You might be right.
How do you know your apartment isn't going to fall to the ground like the one in Florida?
I don't know. If I thought it was going to fall, I'd move.
But it would fall and it would kill you and you wouldn't be able to move.
Then I'd be dead.
Moving wouldn't be an option.
That's correct. I'd be dead. If I die, I die. Like, hey.
What was the title of this show when you started it?
The title of the show is Stoic, America and the World in today's date.
What does that mean?
It just means what it means.
Now, are you finding it difficult to remain stoic and calm?
No.
But you have said in the past that I challenge your ability to be stoic and calm.
That is correct.
Now, I think that I can make you slightly apoplectic and not calm and certainly not stoic. I have a secret weapon.
You might.
Are you up for the challenge?
Um,
Are you afraid of the idea of a challenge that would challenge your ability to be stoic and calm at the same time?
you go
And
ahead.
isn't that redundant? Isn't stoic and calm the same thing?
I suppose.
So why do you say it twice?
I didn't think, I just, being calm and being stoic,
Right.
they complement each other, in my opinion, more than they're just.
Okay. Are you willing to take the challenge of remaining stoic and calm in the face of a challenge from one angry Jew?
Go ahead.
Okay. Could you close your eyes for a second? Okay. I want you to think back to a time of the past, a
Mhm.
time when the one angry Jew called you on Skype,
Mhm.
made it make noise. Can you hear the noise?
Yes.
It was incessant. It wouldn't stop. It just kept going and going and going. And every time you thought it was going to stop, that noise was there again. And the one angry Jew did that by calling you over and over and over again and not staying on, just calling and hanging up, calling and hanging up, calling and hanging up. And how does that make you feel?
It makes me laugh.
Does it make you angry? Or you're not thinking back to that time when?
Now I look back and I kind of laugh about it. It's like, well,
Do you?
I didn't like it, but like it's.
What about it didn't you like?
Oh, it was interrupt. I was trying to do a show with Joe, and
Right?
you were interrupting my show, and it did upset
You
me.
wouldn't put me on, so I
I did put
ha-
you on. I tried to put you on, but you would hang up every time.
right. But you started with not putting me on, so I decided that I was going to torment you incessantly
And
in
it
a
would,
way that I knew that it would take you a long time to figure out how to make it stop.
yeah, I guess
That
you.
it would drive you so batshit crazy that you would not be able to turn it off. That you would be. Now you look like you're losing a little bit of your calmness. Are you?
No, 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 fine.
Why are you smiling?
Because it was funny. I'm it's more of a.
It wasn't funny at the time.
No, it wasn't. But I've reassessed it, and I consider it funny.
Well, I understand you reassessed it now, but what were you feeling then?
I was angry.
On an anger scale of 1 to 10, where was it in terms of 10 being the most angry you've ever been?
Probably a 4.
Only a 4?
Yeah.
Okay. What made you angry at the level of a number 10?
What has made me angry a little? Someone loaning someone money and them not paying me back.
Now, at the risk of offending YouTube, was that person half of a ethnic persuasion other than white?
Yeah, he was your ethnic persuasion, and he was also non-white. Yes.
So wait a second. He was a Jew. He was a half Jew, half Asian man.
No, actually, well, two people have borrowed money from me and not paying me back, and both of them made me angry. I was foolish.
How much money are we talking about?
Couple grand.
Mhm. What was the reason that you lent them this money? Did they need an operation? Did one of them need a hernia operation?
It was for a car.
You lent them money to buy a car. Did they have a car at the time that they bought the car?
No.
So they needed a car.
That is correct.
Did you offer to give them a car?
I offered to loan them money for a car.
Okay. All right, very good. And that made you angry at a level 10.
It did. The one made me angry at a level 10 because I think he turned out to be bipolar and he could not control his spending habits.
Hmm.
And it didn't make me angry at the loss of money. It was the behavior that upset me. And I've learned from this point on that banks loan people money, not people. I don't loan money to people.
Is this the half Asian guy that you reference in other shows?
I loan, I don't want to get into the people I've loaned money to. That's all done in all water under the bridge. But it did anger me when people borrowed money from me and did not pay me back. They were taking from my labor, and they spent money on frivolous things, and they were frivolous people. And I don't deal with them anymore.
Can we discuss the strange relationship between you and Bathtub Girl in the early days?
I would rather not, only because Bathtub Girl that involves another person, and these conversations involve other people that are not choosing to be involved.
You talked about Mr. Solution, and he wasn't there.
Well, I mean, I don't. Yeah, you're right on that, but I'm still in contact with these people, and
So you feel that because you're not in contact with Mr. Solution, that you can talk about him?
Well, Mr. Solution, I don't even know who he is, so he's kind of a much more of a mystery. These people that we're talking about are concrete people that I do know, like personally. Like,
Have you ever met Bathtub Girl?
Not face to face, no.
You have met some of them, though.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I don't want to. Look, I'm not interested in revealing anything about them that they don't want revealed. It's just.
What about Debbie Daly? Where on the anger scale did she leave you when she stood you up for dinner?
About a 2, maybe a 1. I really didn't care. I kind of found it funny.
So has anybody from this strange group of people that you've never met made you more angry than me?
I think Mr. Solution would have made, but that was at a time before when I was. I think I was more of an angry person back then. I think I'm less now.
And what makes you less of an angry person? How's that happen?
I think the death of my parents, for me anyway, that made me less.
That makes you less angry?
Sure.
If there was a button, a magic button that you could push that would just make somebody disappear, not necessarily painfully, just disappear, they no longer exist, would you use such a button?
In my own personal life, at the moment, I don't have anyone annoying me, but there were times when, I wish I had a button for that.
And you would make them disappear, their annoyance rose to that level?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure.
Who would you make disappear?
In my younger days, I mean.
Did you ever wish you had that button for Dennis?
No.
So you would never want to make Dennis disappear?
I mean, not like, off the earth. No, absolutely not.
How about JP?
No, never.
Nobody else. Would you have pushed that button the day I called you on Skype over and over and over again?
At that moment, I was kind of angry, and so I mean, because you were annoying me.
That could have been a button push.
That might have been a button push. Yeah,
Wow.
maybe. I was annoyed, like, because you were just there to antagonize me. I thought.
Well, did you think it was personal?
I thought it was selfish.
In what way?
I didn't do any wrong to you, and you were interrupting my show, and you were doing wrong to me.
Are you a non-selfish person?
Uh, when I think about it, no, I'm not a non-selfish person. I'm selfish.
And what percentage of the time do you think you're selfish?
100%.
That's an Ayn Rand answer.
Yeah, no, I've thought about this. It's
You understand, and you understand the concept of selfishness.
Yeah, I understand. What I understand is I agree with what I understand about it.
And you learned it from where?
Well, actually, I'm going to be honest with you. I thought about it when I talked to you about Ayn Rand and about selfishness, and
So I brought you to objectivism.
you brought me to thinking that selfishness is not that bad. And to me, altruism is phony. It's fake.
Do you know anybody who believes they're altruistic?
Yes,
Name them.
I have family members that believe they're altruistic. I'll leave it at that.
Do you have family members that believe 9/11 was done by a bunch of Arabs
Yeah, me.
from Saudi Arabia? Oh, you still believe that?
I still believe that. You know what I
Why?
mean?
Why?
Um.
Now, seeing what you've seen with this pandemic so far, you're
Mhm.
telling me that you haven't given any thought to 9/11 and looked at it in a different light?
All I know is why would 9 hijackers go on a plane and deliberately commit suicide?
They
With
didn't. They didn't commit suicide.
Did they survive? Were there hijackers?
I don't think they got on that plane with the knowledge that they were going to die.
And yeah, that doesn't sound, for me, that doesn't sound plausible.
Why? I think they were patsies, stooges. I don't think that any one of them knew that they were going to die that day.
You don't believe that there are that there are jihadists that are suicidal that will
Yeah, but that wasn't them.
okay. Yeah, I believe that there are suicidal and sick people out there that
And
will.
you believe that they were suicidal and sick.
Yes.
Why? What made you believe that? What made you believe the government? Do you believe the government anything they tell you now?
I believe that people lie, so governments are going to lie. Sometimes I
Well,
believe in the government, sometimes I don't.
so why didn't they lie about 9/11?
Because it doesn't seem plausible that they would have that they could convince hijackers to hijack a plane and kill themselves.
I just told you I don't think they killed themselves. I don't think they knew they were going to die that day.
You know what? I'd have to look at that again but that's the story I'm saying now, and I'd have to. I would have to examine it before with my little brain before I
Examine what?
the whole 9/11 thing. It doesn't sound plausible to me. You're going to fly into a building thinking you're going to survive.
No, I don't think they had any knowledge that they were going to fly into a building.
Okay,
I
all right.
think they were passengers on the airplane, and I don't believe they knew anything beyond that. In fact, I don't believe that they died hitting a building.
You
I
know,
believe I believe that their plane was landed along with all the other aircraft that were grounded that day You don't remember that day when they grounded all the aircraft about 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning?
What you're saying sounds very far-fetched.
Why?
It just does. Is there, I do have to get to work fairly soon, so I'm going to get ready for that. Is there anything to add before I call this show a day?
9/11 was not done by a bunch of Arabs from Saudi Arabia.
All right. Well,
Would you challenge me on that?
at the moment,
Not now. Not now. Would you like to have a real discussion about that?
I think I could have a discussion, and I might have. Would you mind if I brought someone on who disagreed with you? Who's
Oh, yeah. Who would that be?
I don't know yet. Do you? Let me ask you this: do you believe that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone?
No.
Okay. All right, Howard. I'm going to call it a day. And hey, guys, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and also share.
Are you able to call it a day when it's a night over here?
Call it whatever you want. All right, Howard. I gotta end this broadcast. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and visit our website.
By the way,
Yeah.
If you would forego the overly expensive yogurt, in fact, I still want to just talk about that just for a second, if I might. How, in your mind, did you find it acceptable that 1 pint of yogurt could be $14.50?
You know what? As I said before, I was not thinking correctly, and I made a mistake.
No, I'm not talking about buying 2 of them. I'm talking about buying 1 of them.
You know what? I was just. You know what?
What are the ingredients in that yogurt? What do you think that the raw ingredients cost to make that yogurt?
Don't know.
Was it yogurt blessed by a rabbi?
Yeah, maybe. You know what? That wasn't really. And Howard, I have to end the show. I will, because I want to get. I have to turn in a few things at work and stuff. But let's do this again, Howard. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Like I said, like and subscribe, and even share the video if you can. Leave a comment down below as well. Thank you.